Confidentiality. Why do you need to maintain the confidentiality? It is very, very important to maintain the confidentiality because many a time you are bound by the customer or this confidentiality agreements are also signed. You can understand that if customer has given you some drawing or they have given you some data, if it is leaked to their competitors, that could potentially result into a loss of business. And in that case, if they come to know that it has leaked from your organization or by your organization person, a legal action can be also taken. A legal action can also be taken against you. So you need to make sure that the confidentiality agreements, the confidentiality of the data is also maintained, especially when there is a customer design product. In that case, say customer has given you some drawing or they have some requirement they have given to you, your organization, and if your organization passes that drawing or part of that drawing to supplier, in that case you should also have this kind of agreement with your supplier, so that if anything goes wrong, or so that if the any issue happens, at least you have this legal protection that you can take the action against the whosoever, like against supplier. So also that in the job description also, are you aware, if you see your job description and if you see your offer letter, have you seen your offer letter and the appointment letter, you see that there must be like a confidentiality clause, they must have written about that confidentiality. But here it is talking more in terms of the product design and product confidentiality, and it is not necessarily that you show this confidentiality in the with respect to employees, but this confidentiality is there with respect to like some confidentiality agreement you sign with your customer, that is also called NDA. You must have heard of this name, NDA. What is this NDA? Non-disclosure agreement. That means you will not disclose. That's a non-disclosure agreement. So with whom you can sign the NDA? The NDA basically is signed by you with your customer, and it can also be signed by your supplier, right? So you also make sure that this NDA is in place, non-disclosure agreement is in place regarding the confidentiality of the documentation data. One other best way could be, there is another best way. If you are not doing NDA, the one other best way, mention this in PO, because all suppliers, this definitely accept the PO by through email or whatever way you decide. Mention this requirement of confidentiality in the purchase order, because if you accept the purchase order, by default he accept the requirements which are there in the like confidentiality kind of requirements. So that's a better approach. If you mention this confidentiality requirement in the purchase order, or if you sign a separate kind of non-disclosure kind of agreement, that also could be done. So basically it's an agreement which could involve the person and the companies, and they agree not to give any particular information to people or other companies. So this agreement is strictly, there are clauses which blocks from disclosing any information, any key information to anyone, okay, other than person, other than organization which is authorized by management. So that would result into a legal action as well. The organization shall ensure that confidentiality of the customer contracted product, that means which are in contract with customer. So basically it could also mean those products which are designed by customer as well, and projects under development, including related product information, right? So whatever the product which are under development and its related information, that kind of product, that product you need to have this confidentiality, right? Sometimes customer even do not write the model number, they just write some of the code, so that you are not aware. You are working on that particular part for so long years, like maybe 2 to 3 years, and you don't know if this will go into which model, because sometimes they also hide this just to maintain the confidentiality. So here what you need to do is this: you make sure that there is a customer agreement, or it can be part of purchase order, or you sign an NDA with customer, and also you can sign an NDA with the supplier. If it is a customer kind of product, definitely you need to have the non-disclosure agreement, NDA, or you can mention that in PO also, purchase order also, because by default, like supplier accept the PO, which also means that he has accepted he accept the confidentiality requirement. So how to implement this clause? The top management will finalize the confidential agreement with customer and supplier. Top management will ensure confidential requirement implementation, and people are aware that what information can be given, what information cannot be given. So this kind of training and awareness session can also be planned so that there is no confusion, and that people should not say, "Oh, I was not aware that I've given this information, so I was totally not aware about that." So that kind of awareness could also be ensured.